you said you managed him. And that time you were managing him, you also recommended him. Who recommended him as minister? A minister? You did. So you also recommended him, even though you knew that you were trying to manage him. You sent him to the federal cabinet. So in other words, it might be that you're saying this because both of you are not in good terms. He was a good man to you, and yes, you don't recommend someone who.
I wish you knew those who are good men to me.
Mr. Michi, you wouldn't. If I'm your friend, you wouldn't recommend me if I'm a bad man. And
just listen. In politics, there are decisions you just implement. As a governor, there's what Nigerian politicians call you must consult. Now, by the time we were ready to nominate ministers, we agreed to nominate somebody, and we nominated the person. The person was accepted. Well, the person was not accepted, so we replaced the person with another person. Now, there's one ministerial nomination that came to the office of the chairman of the Governors Forum, which is the Minister of State for South-South. And it was given to me. Again, in this issue of Nigerian politicians, when they say you must carry us along, I came back home and said, listen, the president has agreed that I should nominate Minister of State for South-South. Who do we send? A friend of mine and his friend, who he brought to us, and now we own him as our friend, because he remained with us despite the fact that this man went away. Chuma, who became my commissioner for commerce, now advised that our friend is a bit depressed since I removed him as chief of staff. That we don't want to have a medical crisis in our hand. I won't see the details. That if we don't want to have the medical crisis in our hand, we should please put him forward. That he thinks that the federal government can control his activities. So if we put him forward, he thinks that the president, he may not be as reckless as he'll be in the state.
So he was correct when
I said we did.
He was correct when he said that you tried to get rid of him when you nominated him to be minister.
I wish him luck. One thing I do in life is that if I'm privileged to nominate you, I'm finished. How you manage your position, what you do with it. No, I'm saying
that. I mean, that's what he said.
How can I?
Don't forget that. He said there was a sinister motive. That was why you nominated him. It wasn't altruistic.
Oh, that I was trying to get him away from Port Harcourt?
Yes.
Oh, first I've got him out of my government. Because I knew he wasn't qualified to be my government. It was just because Chuma came with that advice. If Chuma didn't come with that advice, and that is the worst advice I've accepted in life, and that is the worst decision I've made in life, to have listened to Chuma and put him forward when I knew who he was. I was overwhelmed by the number of people who spoke to me about the issue of the consequences. And if we don't want to lose a friend, then we must swallow the bitter pill.
Well,
and don't forget, I had to work on the issue of, Governor, you're always stubborn.
And
I backed out.
We're still talking about way forward.